Our forefathers, the prophetess, the seers, the wonders of an incoming trade. They told us that this incoming trade will come with different changes. Now these changes, they knew that it will come to change our perceptions of our culture, of how we dress, of language. They warned us, go forth and learn from them, but do not be like them. But what did we do? We went and learned and became like them, right? We learned their culture, we learned their language, we dressed like them, we lived our hair like them. Same here. Now, my topic is addressing these changes, our modern lifestyle. This lifestyle have changed the way we impact the aquatic ecosystem, especially my major area is Lake Victoria. Did you know that Lake Victoria could dry up possibly in the next 500 years? This is a research that has been done by Emily Beverly and a consortium of universities that tested water samples and sediments along the Victoria Basin, and their results was that the Victoria could possibly dry due to a few factors that they found. These factors include amount of rainfall, temperature, precipitation. So these factors all added together could possibly lead to the Victoria drying up. Maybe even faster, faster than 500 years. Having been a scientist from Kenya Marine Research Institute, I've learned a few ways of the different communities. These communities, especially the women, they get their income from the lake. The income majorly is fish, trading in fish. And when you walk in the morning along the open beaches around Lake Victoria, you will find they wash their fish just along the lake. Now, what happens to them removing the intestines, the scales of fish? They throw this waste back into the water. What happens when this waste accumulate into the water? The organic matter decomposes. Now, decomposition requires oxygen. This oxygen that is available in the water is called dissolved oxygen. The dissolved oxygen is enough for the aquatic organisms. If these women throw this waste, the intestines and the scales, year in and year out, what happens? It accumulates just at the bottom of the sea, depleting the available dissolved oxygen. Riparian communities have been known to practice agriculture as a form of getting their harvest and boosting their income. Most of them harness their crop production through using inorganic fertilizers. What happens when these inorganic fertilizers get their way into the water? They add to the available already nutrients in the water. If you didn't already know, a natural water body has available natural nutrients. This especially is nitrogen and phosphorus. Aquatic organisms, they require these nutrients for survival. In our daily lives, we also require conducive environment. We need a place where we stay, build our homes, go to work, and then come back and live in our comfortable places. This is exactly what happens in aquatic ecosystems. They require nutrients to survive. They require clean water to survive, to thrive. Industrial waste. These waste that are being released into the water are according to the WHO standards. These wastes are being treated before being released into the water system. But what happens to these wastes that escape, especially the liquid waste? They get into the water, adding into more nutrients that are already available in the water body. What happens when excess nutrients are inside the water? It becomes eutrophic. This is a state of eutrophication. Eutrophication is where the water becomes loaded with nutrients the phosphorus, the nitrogen. And what happens? The water surface is all green. This green is called the harmful algal bloom. The harmful algal bloom covers the surface of the water, deteriorating the water quality, affecting the aquatic organisms that require dissolved oxygen for their survival. Also, if you remember clearly, if you watch news, you notice that last year especially, there was a fish farmer who lost millions of money to fish kill. Their harvest, their entire cage cultures, they lost the entire farm. Their fish died. Harmful algal blooms is one of the reasons that caused the fish kill. Now, we have addressed global warming. There's a treaty that was signed in 1987, September, by both developed and developing nations. This treaty was to reduce the production and consumption of ozone-depleting substances. These ozone-depleting substances are the chlorofluorocarbons, the halogens, especially also the greenhouse effects. When these gases are released into the Earth's atmosphere, they react with the available oxygen. When it rains, these oxides get into the water. What happens when they get into the water? Excess carbon dioxide that is available in a very small amount becomes excess. When excess carbon dioxide is in the water, it causes some organisms that uses these nutrients they use these nutrients to form their shells. Excess carbon dioxide lead to less of these ions that we use, the nutrients. I want to believe that global warming is a modern world plague because there's sea level rise, there's high temperatures, especially in Kisumu. Sometimes when you walk, you find the skin burning, and these skin burns, when it's consistent, year in and year out, you could develop skin cancer. Lake acidification. I talked about excess carbon dioxide that gets that dissolves in the water. In general, in our body, the slightest drop of pH could cause stroke, and I believe someone can attest to that. The health department. This is what happens in a lake ecosystem. A slight drop of pH causes disruptions in the water ecosystem. Some of the effect is the mollusks and the zooplankton. These organisms require calcium bicarbonate to form their shells. What happens when they cannot form their shells? They go extinct or they die totally. I'm addressing post-harvest losses. This happens when the fishermen get into the water, travel long distances from the shoreline deep into the sea to fish. Most of these fishermen, they do not know proper ways of handling fish. When they get to retrieve their nets and they transfer their catch into their basins, the distance from where they retrieve their nets into the shoreline is quite long. By the time they get to the shoreline, half of their catch usually perish. And you all know, you can attest, when a fish has not been properly handled, they go to waste. Now, what can we do from the three instances that I've given? From the first one, I don't want to attribute it to negligence. These women washing fish, they remove the scales, they remove the intestines, and throw them back into the water. What can we do? Do you think they know that believing these are harmful acts to the aquatic environments? I want to believe that they're not aware. What if we start from there? We educate the stakeholders that are around the lake. What if we educate these women that you can use dustbins to get, instead of throwing these fish scales and intestine into the water, you could dump them into the bin. I'm sure most of you know what a nail patch is for. Nail patch has so many uses. One is food. Two, it has so many items, materials that you can get from it. The materials, one is when you dissect the inside of a fish, of nail polish. You most of you I'm sure have seen it. It's a white material that you can use to make many products. My second production, you could join in fish cleaners. These fish cleaners have been organized by different environmental enthusiasts along the lake region. They conduct this regularly, probably weekly. For example, from where I come from, Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute, we conduct regular beach cleanups. We go and collect the debris that have been dumped along the lake. We sort them and safely dispose them. So these are products from fish waste. Nail polish, I've told you, it has so many products. So the second product that we get are fish oil. This we get from the orifice of the nail polish, the intestines. So these women, when they wash the fish, they get the scales and the intestines and throw it back to the lake, not knowing that this could be used to make products like the fish oil. This is how the fish oil is made. You take usually from our labs, we take the fish intestines, we boil it, thoroughly boil it, and we sieve it. So what remains is a pure salmon oil that we use for strong bones in children. The second thing that we can do is capacity building for fishermen. Now, these fishermen, most of them use illegal fishing gears. These are mononets and macronets. They use to catch fish that are still in breeding zone. So what if also instead of allowing these fishermen to fish in breeding zones or to fish in bait catch is they fish what they're not supposed to fish, to catch. Also, we can provide them with ice making machines, or you can just provide them with these machines. They're not that expensive. We have some of them in our labs. They're not quite expensive. The nail polish, no. This is the material that you derive from the nail polish. When you dissect it, you see from the first picture, you see the person dissecting the fish. The second picture, you see removing that material, the white one. It's called a fish mold. This fish mold has so many uses. It can be used as a surgical thread. It can also be used to make plain parts. And it's a drug in the food to many Asian countries. So this mold, when you get it from the nail polish, you dry it, and you sell it. It has been established by scientists from Kenya Marine that these molds, when you get it from nail polish, 100 to 600 grams cost 4,000 shillings, and 600 grams, 900 grams cost 16 shillings. Do you think we can capacity build these women? Instead of throwing this waste into the lake, we can give them nice, clean bins to throw this waste. Did you know that climate change in Swahili is mabadiliko ya tabia nchi?